Let me tell you something that might sting a little, but it's the truth. Every year, thousands of people make big promises to themselves. This is my year. I'm going to change everything. And yet somehow most of them stay exactly where they were. Same job, same pain, same doubts, same fears. Now ask yourself this: why is it that only 2% actually make it and the other 98% just watch? The reason is simple. Most people talk. That's it. They talk big. They dream big. But when it comes to doing, they hesitate. They procrastinate. They blame. The 2%, they move different. They act. They sacrifice. They get uncomfortable. See, success ain't about talent. There are people sitting at home right now who are more talented than the people running businesses, building empires, standing on stages. It's not talent, it's hunger. It's grind. It's the decision to not go back to the life you promised yourself you'd leave. Let me break it down for you, because this right here is the foundation of it all. Most people talk, few take action. That's the raw truth. You can walk into any room, any break room, any bus stop, and you'll hear people saying the same things. I'm going to do this one day. I got a plan. As soon as I get the time, the money, the right moment. And you know what usually happens? Nothing. The world is full of dreamers, full of folks with million-dollar ideas and billion-dollar visions, but very few are willing to put in the blood, sweat, and faith it takes to build something real. Talking about it is easy. It costs you nothing to say, I'm going to change my life. But action, that's expensive. Action costs time. It costs energy. It costs comfort. And most people are too scared to pay that price. Let me tell you something about action. It don't wait on perfect timing. It doesn't ask for permission. Action just moves. And if you're standing around talking, thinking, wishing while somebody else is doing, you'll find yourself watching them win from the sidelines of your own life. You want to be successful. Then stop just saying it. Start proving it. You can't manifest success through words alone. Faith without works is dead. Period. You've got to move your feet. You've got to make the phone call. Send the email. Wake up earlier. Show up even when you're tired. Build the website. Learn the skill. Invest in your growth. Stop talking about the business and start starting the business. See, the 2%, they're not out here making noise about what they're going to do. They're quiet in the lab. They're grinding in the dark. They're saying no to parties, skipping the comfort, and pushing through the tired because they understand results come from movement, not mouth. Everybody wants the glory. Everybody wants the lifestyle. But nobody wants to go through the grind that produces it. That's why 92% fall off. They fall in love with the idea of success, but they hate the work that builds it. They're addicted to comfort. And success will never be built in a comfort zone. Never. You've got to get to a point where your actions scream louder than your intentions. You've got to live in such a way that people don't even need to hear what your dreams are, because they see it in how you move. Every day, you want to change your life. Then stop announcing it and be about it. Let your actions tell your story. Let your habits shape your future. Talk less, do more. Post less, build more. Because success doesn't care about how badly you want it. It responds to how consistently you work for it. And here's the thing: action creates momentum. And momentum changes everything. The second you start doing, the second you take that uncomfortable step, something shifts. You build confidence. You gather speed. And you separate yourself from the crowd that's still waiting for Monday, next month, or New Year's Day. So don't let your dreams die in your mouth. Don't let your life become a collection of what ifs and could haves. Be in that 2%. Get up and move. Because the world ain't moved by your plans, it's moved by your proof. Let me tell you something real, something raw. Success has never been about talent alone. There are folks out here with degrees, skills, beauty, and the best opportunities money can buy. And yet, they're stuck. Meanwhile, someone with half the resources, half the background, and none of the spotlight is out here winning. Why? Because talent without hunger is like a Ferrari with no gas. It looks good sitting still, but it ain't going nowhere. See, hunger is what separates the talkers from the doers. Hunger is that fire in your gut that doesn't let you sleep until you've built something real. It's that voice that says, I can't stay here. It's that edge in your spirit that refuses to accept average as your final destination. The problem is, most people are trained to believe that if you've got talent, everything else will fall into place. But life don't work like that. The world doesn't owe you anything because you're gifted. It rewards the ones who show up and grind, even when no one's watching. It rewards the ones who fail and come back hungrier than before. Talent might open the door, but hunger kicks it off the hinges. You think those people in the 2% got there because life was easy for them? No. They got there because they were hungry enough to keep moving through the pain. They stayed up when others slept. They studied when others partied. They worked when no one clapped. They sacrificed comfort for calling. And let me tell you, you can't teach hunger. You can train skill, you can sharpen talent, but hunger, that's something you've got to dig out of your soul. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to wait until everything's lined up just right. You need to want it bad enough that you'll do whatever it takes. Most people want success until it requires change, until it demands discipline, until it says, give up the weekend. But the 2%, they want it more than they want to stay the same. You see, the 92% stop at good enough. They settle. They make peace with their potential because chasing it is too uncomfortable. But hunger will make you fight when others fold. Hunger will make you stand back up after the fall. Hunger will make you chase something so hard, you forget what quitting even feels like. If you're not where you want to be, ask yourself this: how bad do I want it? Because your answer is not in your words, it's in your habits. It's in how early you wake up. It's in what you're willing to sacrifice. It's in what you do when nobody's watching. That's where success is born, not in comfort, not in talk, but in love's relentless pursuit. So don't rely on talent to carry you to the finish line. Rely on that inner fire that says, I don't care how hard it gets. I'm not stopping until I see what I came for. That's the mindset of the 2%. That's the fuel of champions. And that, my friend, is how hunger outworks talent every single time. Let's get something straight right now. That's pain is part of the process. There is no success story without struggle. No breakthrough without some kind of breakdown. But here's the difference: the 92% run from pain, the 2% walk through it like they were built for the storm. Most people hit resistance and they think it's a sign to stop. A little discomfort, they quit. A little failure, they back up. Somebody laughs at their dream, they shrink. They think pain means, this isn't for me. But the 2%, oh no. They understand pain is the price of admission to greatness. You want to do something big with your life. Then you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because pain is not punishment. Pain is preparation. Every struggle is shaping you. Every setback is setting you up. That heartbreak, that disappointment, that delay, it's building something in you that success can't survive without. The truth is, the 92% want easy. They want shortcuts. They want the reward without the work. But success doesn't work like that. It's earned in sweat, It's paid for in tears. It's secured with scars. And if you're not willing to bleed a little for your dream, you'll spend your whole life watching others live out theirs. Pain is a test. It's life's way of asking, how bad do you really want this? And let me tell you, every champion was once tested like that. They were knocked down, rejected, ignored, broke, overlooked. But instead of folding, they stayed, they worked. They fought through the silence. That's what the 2% do. They don't run when it gets dark. They dig deeper. You don't become strong by avoiding pain. You become strong by facing it head on. That failure that almost broke you, it's teaching you how to get back up. That pressure that's crushing you, it's molding you into someone unstoppable. That silence when nobody's clapping, it's sharpening your focus. The 92% don't make it because the moment it stops being fun, they stop showing up. But the 2%, they're not chasing feelings, they're chasing purpose. They've made peace with the fact that greatness demands grit. And they've decided that pain won't stop them, it'll shape them. You've got to learn how to use the pain. Don't waste it. Don't drown in it. Channel it. Let it remind you that you're still in the fight. Let it remind you that you're becoming. Let it fuel you to go harder. Because on the other side of that pain, right there, is the version of you that wins. Let's be honest. The life you want will cost you something. It might cost you comfort. It might cost you people. It might cost you time, sleep, pride. But it's worth it. Every drop of sweat, every sleepless night, every lonely moment. If it grows you, if it stretches you, if it gets you closer to your calling, then it's not pain, it's progress. So if you're feeling the weight right now, good, that means you're in the right fight. That means you're not standing still. That means you're becoming part of the 2%. Just don't quit. Don't back down. Don't waste your pain. Use it to rise. Because while the 92% crumble, the 2% will climb through the fire and come out gold. Let me tell you something that'll change how you see your whole journey. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall between you and your dream. And brick by brick, those excuses become a prison. You build it with your own hands, and then you wonder why you feel stuck, why you're not growing, why your life looks the same year after year. People don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they become professional excuse makers. I don't have enough time. A brick. I don't know the right people. A brick. I'm too tired. A brick. What if I fail? Another brick. Before you know it, there's a wall so high you can't even see your future anymore. You think the 2% don't feel fear. You think they don't get tired? Of course they do. The difference is they don't hide behind their excuses. They build through them. They look at the same mountain and say, I'll find a way. They don't wait for the right moment because they know. The right moment is created, not as granted. Excuses are sneaky. They dress themselves up like logic, like protection. But they're really just lies dressed in comfort. Lies that rob you of your potential. Lies that say, stay safe, stay small, stay the same. And if you listen long enough, you'll convince yourself that your dream is impossible when all you really did was stop digging when the treasure was 1 foot deeper. Here's the truth. Nobody cares about your excuses. The world rewards results, not reasons. Nobody's handing out trophies for almost tried. You either do the work or you don't. You either A, own your life, or you keep blaming everybody else for why it's not better. And hear me on this. Your excuses aren't facts. They're fears. And if you don't face them, they'll become your future. The life you want is on the other side of everything you're scared to do. So what if you fail? Get up. So what if it's hard? You're built for hard. So what if nobody believes in you? That just means the victory will be sweeter when you prove them wrong. The 92% let their excuses talk them out of greatness. The 2% tell those excuses, not today. They break that wall brick by brick. Every time they show up when they don't feel like it, brick falls. Every time they try again after failing, another brick falls. Every time they stop blaming others and take full responsibility, the wall crumbles. You've got to make a decision. Are you going to keep laying bricks, building walls around your own potential? Or are you going to knock them down and build a staircase instead? A staircase to something higher, something greater, something lying worth the fight. Because at the end of the day, your dream doesn't care about your excuses. It's still waiting for you to show up, but it won't wait forever. And every excuse you hold on to is one step further from the life you could have had. So tear that wall down, one excuse at a time. Replace every I can't with I must. Every what if with even if, every delay with discipline. That's how the 2% live. That's how you shift from wishing to winning. Let's talk about something that separates winners from watchers, doers from dreamers, the ones who make it from the ones who miss it. Here's the truth. The 2% don't wait for permission or motivation. That they move regardless. They take the shot, make the call, write the book, launch the idea, not because someone hyped them up, but because they believed in it before the world ever noticed. See, most people are waiting for a perfect time, waiting for approval, waiting for someone to pat them on the back and say, "Now you're ready." But life doesn't hand out permission slips, and success doesn't knock politely. It shows up for those who got tired of waiting and decided to go anyway. The 92%, they sit back, scroll through their feeds, and say things like, "I wish I could do that," or "One day, when I'm motivated, I'll start." But motivation is fleeting. It's a feeling. It comes and goes like the weather. And if you build your life around a feeling, you'll be stuck in the same cycle forever. Excited one week, discouraged the next, still standing in the same place year after year. But the 2%, they don't wait to feel like it. They train themselves to move anyway. Discipline is their driver. Purpose is their fuel. They're not moved by applause. They're moved by assignment. They don't need someone to say, "You're good enough." They look in the mirror and say, "Let's get it done." And let me tell you something. Nobody successful got there by waiting for a green light. They had to run through red lights of fear, doubt, rejection, and failure. They didn't have a cheer squad. They had belief. They had vision. They had the guts to say, "Even if nobody claps, I'll still build this dream." Waiting for motivation is like sitting at the train station with no tracks. You're going nowhere. But when you make a decision to start, no matter how you feel, that's when the game changes. That's when confidence builds. That's when doors open. You move first, and momentum meets you along the way. You've got to stop needing someone to validate your dream. Stop looking around, waiting for permission. You're the one. You've always been the one. You don't need the world to believe in you before you begin. You just need to believe hard enough to begin without them. Because the 2%, they're not different in what they have. They're different in how they move. They act without comfort. They show up without applause. They work without promises. And in the silence, in the shadows, while everyone else is scrolling and stalling, they're building something real. So here's your moment. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop asking, "Am I ready?" You're as ready as you decide to be. Stop waiting for someone to say go. You say go. You light the fire. You write the script. You take the leap. Because if you don't, you'll spend your life watching people do what you were born to do. And you weren't born to wait. You were born to move. Let me give you a truth most people ignore. You don't become successful by chance. You become successful by consistency. Not by what you do sometimes, but by what you do every single day. You become what you repeat. You see the 92%. They're inspired for a week, maybe a month. They start strong. They post their goals. They tell the world what they're about to do. But when the excitement fades, they fade too. They skip one day at the gym, then two, then a week. They stop writing the book, stop working on the business, stop praying, stop reading. And eventually, they return to exactly what they were trying to escape from. But the 2%, they understand the power of habit. They don't chase hype, they build rhythm. They know success isn't a sprint. It's a marathon of small, deliberate steps, repeated again and again, even when no one's watching. They train when they're tired. They write when they're uninspired. They show up when it's raining, when it's boring, when it's lonely. Because consistency creates character, and character creates champions. Let me be clear, motivation might get you started, but consistency will finish the race. You don't need to be the smartest, the fastest, the most connected. You just need to keep showing up. That's it. That's the secret. Wake up, lock in, and do it again. People ask, how do I become great? It's simple. Do the right thing over and over until it becomes who you are. You want to be a writer. Write every day. Even when it's terrible. Even when no one reads it. You want to be a speaker. Practice your voice every day. Speak to an empty room if you have to. You want to be a millionaire. Treat every dollar with discipline. Every single day. Success isn't built on big moments. It's built on consistent decisions. Little habits, little disciplines, done with excellence. Over and over. That's how confidence is built. That's how skill is sharpened. That's how dreams turn into destiny. The 92% live in emotion. I don't feel like it today. It's too hard. I'm tired. But the 2%, they live in decision. They've already made up their mind that their goals matter more than their feelings. Their vision matters more than their mood. Their future matters more than today's comfort. You've got to stop waiting for life to push you and start choosing to pull yourself forward every day with intention, with discipline, with a mindset that says, I might not see the results yet, but I'm laying bricks one by one, and I'm not stopping until I build this house. You don't need perfect days. You need persistent ones. You don't need magic. You need routine. You don't need loud announcements. You need quiet consistency. So start today. Do the work again. Choose the hard thing again. Keep the promise to yourself again, because one day you'll wake up and realize you didn't just build a dream. You became the kind of person who never stopped until it was real. And that's what separates the 2% from the rest. Here's what it all comes down to, guys. Success is not a mystery. It's a decision. It's not reserved for the lucky or the chosen. It's earned by this driven. The 2% don't have something magical, the rest don't. They simply refuse to quit. They face pain, reject excuses, move without motivation, and show up with discipline day after day. The 92%, they stop at the first sign of resistance. They wait for the right mood, the right moment, the right support. But life doesn't reward waiters. It rewards workers. It rewards those who don't need perfect conditions to move. Those who don't let pain paralyze them. Those who keep digging when everyone else has gone home. You've got to make a choice. Are you going to watch others win, or will you become the one people watch? The dream is possible. The goal is real. But it won't happen just because you want it. It'll happen because you work for it like your life depends on it. So stop waiting. Stop talking. Stop hesitating. And start moving. Build the hunger. Embrace the pain. Kill the excuses. Move without motivation. Show up every day. That's how you join the 2%. That's how you win.